He said, I'll go there and get it. He went there and got my medical record. It wasn't Burma. So from that then, they dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And the USS Missouri in the 3rd Fleet with Halsey and the Nevada, we went to Tokyo. And when they told us that the war was over, MacArthur had negotiated a full surrender. The Nevada struck up their screws and went into the China Sea to Shanghai. The Japanese didn't want to surrender there. So we...
I need your keys. Sorry.
So we went to Shanghai and sheltered about 3 weeks. And then we left Shanghai after there was a surrender and went to Guam. Now this is the war is over now. And 5 months after the bombs are dropped, I only needed 15 more days on points to be discharged. And they put me at Guam, they shanghaied me. And they took me from the Nevada and put me on the USS Barocco, CVE 115. It's a carrier escort. And they put me over the catapult. And so then, that's when we had been to flight quarters since 3 in the morning. Now it's 3 in the afternoon, 12 hours. And we secured from flight quarters. What we were doing, we were recruit landings and training pilots to land on the carrier, to take off, land again, take off. I took the place of a boy that had been killed with one of the cables on the flight deck. So they shanghaied me because I was trained in catapults. So from Guam, I went aboard the Barocco. And 5 months later then, on the flight deck, we were securing from Blackwater, putting up our release holdback units, cutting down our hydraulic system, getting everything ready for the next morning. Where everybody had already, when they secured from flight quarters, they went to the living quarters, which is below deck. You have a flight deck that's on the dock, then you have a hangar deck, and then you have living quarters. Living quarters is in the bottom of a carrier. So this, I laid down on the flight deck because I'm tired. We secured flight quarters. We had our catapult ready for the next morning. So I laid down. Next thing I knew, I heard a holler. And when I lifted my head to the left, I was looking in the grill of a 15,000-pound airplane towing tractor running over my body from my feet over my head. It drug me 10 feet down the flight deck into a 40-millimeter mount in front of the superstructure. The superstructure is where the captain navigates the carrier. That's where all of your officials and your high command is in the superstructure. And the 40-millimeter is directly in front of the superstructure. And the last thing I can remember was reaching into the catwalk. Catwalk is a little walk that goes along the flight deck. That when the planes take off, they get in the catwalk out of the way of the planes. That's why it's called a catwalk. and it ran over me and shoved me into the 40mm Mount catwalk. And I don't remember anything for 28 days. Now, I have to go according to what the commander said, the lieutenant that was in charge, and also the chaplain. They said that I was not breathing under the tractor for over 2 hours. They had to go down into living quarters to get 20 men topside on the black deck to lift the tractor off of my body. When they lifted it off, they pronounced me dead. They put me in a body bag. They flew me from Guam to Balboa Naval Hospital in San Diego. And when I finally come to, 28 days later, my mother was there holding my hand. I was blind and totally incapacitated. I couldn't move anything. I was paralyzed and blind. Okay, the blindness lasted about 4 months. And when they saw that my pupils were dilating, they ran and got an optometrist who came running in and began to look at my eyes, and he said that they were dilating. What had happened, all of the blood that was in my body was pushed into my head. So my eyes were nothing but a clot of blood. And they had to dilate before I could see. And then paralyzed, I was paralyzed from the waist down for 3.5 years on braces and crutches. And all of this time, though, prayer is what delivered me. Prayer is what brought me back. My mother prayed for 5 months at my bedside in Balboa Naval Hospital. The government gave her a room to sleep in and fed her. And everything was provided by the government for my mom. And my dad was there, but he went on back to work in Dallas. And through it all, though, then when I was discharged out of the Navy, now the accident occurred on May 16, 1946. I was discharged on May 30th, 1947, out of the hospital in Houston, Texas, paralyzed from the waist down, braces and crutches for 3.5 years. And from that, I walked into the convention that they were having in Dallas, Texas, and I saw a display of PBI, Pentecostal Bible Institute. And I said, well, that's where I'm going to go to college. So I enrolled at PBI in Tupelo, Mississippi. And I finished 4 years there. But while I was there, they had a real burden for me. 3.5 years in the condition that I was in. And they began to pray. They anointed me with oil, prayed over me, and I reached down and unbuckled the braces, laid the crutches aside, and to this day I haven't had them again. The Lord healed me. And from that, then I began to recover. But I finished 4 years in seminary, PBI. Then I went to the University of Illinois and finished my Bachelor of Arts. Then I went to the North Texas State University, and I got my Master of Education. I have taught public school in Dallas 4 years in 5th and 7th grade. Then I taught 1 year in Greenville, Illinois, 7th grade. And then I taught 1 year at the University of North Texas in American history as one of their professors. And from that, then I started my ministry. At the age of 20, I am now 76 years old. And my ministry now covers 66 years. I have founded 11 churches in the state of Mississippi, Tennessee, Illinois, and Texas, and Louisiana. And from that, the churches that I've helped establish, only one of them is not in existence today. They're all operational. And I go back and preach for them usually every year. Some of the churches that I have founded. But then I went on to Cypress College and received my doctorate in theology. Well, they say that if you don't breathe, you become brain dead. Okay, for 2 hours under a tractor, I didn't breathe. 2 hours in a flight from Guam to Balboa Naval Hospital in a body bag, which they said that I did not breathe. 4 hours, and yet I finished my doctorate. So that's a little resume of my experience.
Well, thank you for telling me all this. I'm going to make a website about it. And so this interview will be on the website. And I can probably send you a link to the website.
Okay. I don't know if I just... Does he have my card?
Yeah, it's